You're watching Mountain Computers.
Hello everybody, and welcome back once again to Mountain Computers. Today I'm going to be using my old Dell Precision T1500 case to build a more or less surprise computer for one of my friends. I'm going to be taking a bunch of the parts and upgrading them. As you already saw in one of my previous videos, those old parts are in use in a server now, so I've got some empty case space to make room for a new computer for him. I think we'll go ahead and we'll get started right away. I'm just gonna run some footage of the build process, and then I can come back later and talk a little bit about what went on, what kind of things I ran into while I was doing the stuff. So let's get started, guys. Alright guys, so as you may have seen there, the front panel I/O connector was a proprietary style conjoined connector for the case, just because that's the way it's set up on the T15's motherboard. So ultimately what I wound up doing was just pulling the wires out of that connector and connecting them directly onto the motherboard with the individual headers that are at the end of each wire, and that worked just fine, no problems there. Also, the GPU thermal paste was pretty dried up, and I knew that it probably would be based on me using it for a couple months in my secondary PC, which was what this whole computer was acting as before I was giving it to my friend. So I went ahead and I cleaned off all that thermal paste, replaced it with some new trilinear ceramic stuff. After this, I ultimately wound up taking 2 gigabytes of RAM out of the machine. There's 8 in there, now there's 6, because I had to take that RAM to put in my server, which actually came after building this computer. Just has taken me a little bit longer to edit this video and be able to get the computer to my friend. And as for what he thinks of it, I think he's enjoying it quite a bit. It's a lot better than his older laptop. To give you an idea there, he has a 5500U processor and a 920MX graphics card from NVIDIA's I think that's still a GT card, not even a GTX. So that computer trying to play games just wasn't cutting it. This is no screamer either, but it's good enough to be able to run PUBG apparently at 1680 by 1050, odd resolution, but that's what the monitor he's using is, at between medium and high details depending on what he's doing. And the other games he plays too work out just fine. He doesn't play very graphically demanding games in general. Things like The Binding of Isaac and other weird ones like Turbo Pug, one I've never heard about, but he really enjoys. It seems to be just like a platformer. So along with giving him that computer, I gave him some older peripherals. You guys have seen the monitor unboxing video that I did. My old monitor went to my parents, and their old monitor went to him to use, so that's why it's such an odd resolution. Their monitor was a little bit older. It is still a flat panel LCD screen, and it's not too bad honestly for its age, but strange resolution. He also got my old mechanical keyboard, and speaking of some other stuff that I have been replacing recently, I figured I would go ahead and give you guys a tour sometime in the near future of what my setup is like and what kind of stuff I use tech-wise on a day-to-day basis. Just in general, I won't go into very much detail in that particular video about how to use anything or any technical information. For the most part, it's just going to be a tour of what is in my setup. And if you guys have any questions, or if you'd like to see a particular video on anything you see in that video, just give me a shout. By all means. The Ryzen ITX PC, speaking of future videos, is still on the way. It's actually sitting just over there to me right now, and my roommate and I have been working on that now for months. I think it's pretty much set in stone now where he's happy with it, so hopefully it won't take me too long to finish doing some footage of that and get the video all stitched together. And then I've purchased a couple retro PCs recently for my own personal use, and I plan to make some videos on those too, although that might take a little while to get to. I am eventually planning to get to those, but I hope that all of that leaves you guys not feeling too teased today, and that you got the most out of the video that was given to you. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, give it a strong like. If you have comments or questions, just leave them down in the comment section, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.